Well, good evening. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Welcome to the old pitiful example of a live video. Let me turn the volume down on this. Mr. Adami, how you doing? It's good to have a fellow YouTuber whenever I can. I'm doing good. Just sitting here in Houghton, Louisiana, here on exit 33 on I-20 here in Louisiana. Mr. Richardson, welcome. I know I'm a little bit late here from what I said, but when you get into a conversation with somebody, you just can't say, "Hey, screw you, I'm gonna go do a live." But so we are sitting here waiting to pick up our next load here on Monday. I got the information Friday before I made my delivery of that 210 GLC John Deere excavator there in Dallas on Friday, and that video is in the works, so will be coming fairly soon. All day for the rest of the evening. Once I get dumped a live feed, then I will be going over to do some more editing. Where was I up to? I did a warp speed video of the 19th of September. So from the 19th on till today, I got a little catch up to do. Really, you're at the pilot, huh? You're at the pilot here in Houghton, Louisiana. So close, Daniel. So close. Wisconsin, Louisiana. That's close enough. But we'll call that being right next door. I could practically look out the driver window and see you. Hey, sometimes those coincidences, could easily make you think that we were, think of all the highways in America that there are truck stops at, and how many of those actually align with the same exit number. I mean, I would think that that's going to happen more than once in a while, I mean, look at a good one is exit 201. I think I remember. Let's see. There's one there in Indiana, there at Remington, with a pilot and a TA. And there's at least one other that I personally stopped at least I think it was in I want to say Arkansas, but I'm not too sure about that. I have to think about that one. But like I said, more than that's going to happen. The number of highways, the number of U.S. roads, the number of state roads and county roads that actually have exit ramps. It's going to happen one of these days. So. But this is mainly a Q&A as well for you guys to feel free to ask me anything whatsoever. If it's out of bounds and I don't want to talk about it, I'll just say, that's going beyond. But any question you guys might have. Next Gen, yes, I've heard of Next. I'm subscribed to Next Gen. Yep, and I've met, Trucking with Harmony. I met up with her up there in Wisconsin before she got into her truck. So go ahead and check her channel out as well, Trucking with Harmony. She's at Trans Am right now as a lease op. So she got back into trucking after a good while coming out. Trucker Z, welcome, welcome. Yeah, she's really small. I met her through the channel with David H. Really small, just getting back. She did a lot of lives from her house when she was trying to get back into trucking over the past several months. Yeah, well, we all have those views of other companies. I have mine as well. I mean, there are certain companies that when I decided to get into trucking, I did a lot of research. I looked online to every single trucking company under the sun, and seeing what matched my needs, not what they said they offered or what they could possibly do, So, Trans Am, I think, was one of those ones that I did initially look at in like my first 3 weeks of looking at companies, but then but they got weeded out, just like with Werner, Prime, Schneider, Swift, a whole host of them. Wheel Trans, a lot of them got weeded out because they didn't quite offer what I wanted. I didn't need $400 a mile. I didn't need the biggest, baddest ass truck. I didn't need, this, that, and the other. There was very few things that I wanted. I wanted a company that was a mid-sized company. I didn't want to start with a mega carrier or somebody so small. I want to start with a mid-size type of thing. I wanted a company that had the ability to give me a little taste of everything that they could. So that's why I went with Watkins Shepherd Trucking. Watkins Shepherd was based in Montana, which is where I am eventually moving to. And they also had Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance, which is what I wanted. Now, unfortunately, they didn't tell me that Schneider bought them the previous October 2016. And then all that stuff went away. And now Schneider ran them out into the ground. And just a little while ago, a couple months ago, I think it's about just 2 months ago, they were just totally destroyed. Hey, Scrap and Horden. Good to have you here. I saw you posted another video today. I was unable to go watch, for cleaning the truck and organizing, doing tools and vacuuming the floor and all that jazz. So sorry I couldn't come over to see you. I will be looking for that, Daniel. I am going to be doing another truck tour. I mean, I got some videos shot of the exterior boxes, my headache rack, my passenger and driver's side box, and also my step box. And then I was doing a little bit of that today, and I've done some in the past. And I always want to know what other drivers have on their trucks, not just the truck itself, but the tools that they use on the truck, what kind of cooking implements you use, what hand tools you use, what supplies you keep a store of. And yep, that meant YouTube will keep it forever. That because right at the moment, I have YouTube holding all of my finished video. I am getting more hard drives. I mean, there's a blank 4 terabyte drive that I picked up the other day. I've just started on my 6th hard drive, storing the raw video. So, when I get to a point that I can have stored video, and then the completed videos, I'll re-download those, back from YouTube, so I have the finished copy, so I can manipulate those as well. All right, so here in Houghton, Louisiana, waiting the weekend, because I got here yesterday, I don't know, about 4:30 yesterday I got here. Been here all day today. Sunday will be all day. And then basically about 7 a.m. to Monday morning, I'll be leaving and heading over to Minden, Louisiana. It's a little bit further east, about half an hour, 45 minutes at the most. A little bit of back roads I got to go on, but nothing too severe. I am picking up a barge, and I'm taking a barge up to Shakopee, Minnesota, a little bit southwest of Minneapolis, right out by the river. So the barge is going to be 12 foot wide, 10 foot high. I think they said 42 feet long. Hey, Daniel, no problem. Give yourself a bite. Take care of yourself. That's more important than some idiot on the internet. But like I said, this will be the absolute widest load I have ever taken. The load I just got off, like I said, was a John Deere 210G LC excavator. It was 10 foot 6 wide. It was 14.2 tall and weighed 50,160 pounds. So by the time all was said and done, I weighed 84,000 pounds approximately, which is the biggest load period, the widest load period, and it equals the tallest load I've ever taken. The last other permitted load that I took was 14.2. So this one's going to be a good deal wider, 12 foot wide. So possibly, depending upon if it's just a little bit over 12 foot, and depending on what route I'm required to take, I may actually, besides being on permits, I may actually have to have an escort, which will be the first time I'm doing that. Oh, that day, I'd definitely be wanting to see that. Yeah, definitely. If you go live, I'll be doing my best to watch it. Hopefully, I'm not. Well, I got the iPad. I can watch the iPad while I'm uploading a video, so it doesn't affect my data to do both. I can upload a video, watch YouTube, and be on my phone all at the same time, because I use this hotspot device. Look, APU just kicked on. One felt a little jolt. But this is unlimitedville.com. This is an excellent company. I've had this for just about a year now. If you want an unlimited, internet service, if you want no throttling, no caps, you want virtually 99% coverage of America, unlimitedville.com. I pay for the AT&T service, which is what I use on my phone. Very rarely do I not have a signal good enough to upload. Very rarely. Now, unfortunately, they're always at a truck stop, but for the most part, this is good. I mean, the battery will last me a good 10 hours. I hook my Rand McNally GPS through it, so I get the weather and I get traffic through it. Like I said, my phone's hooked up to it, my iPad, my computer. I mean, I couldn't say enough about that one. The other one that's out there that I haven't used but I've seen, it's called Infinite Data. I think they're a little bit cheaper, but I'm not so sure about their service. I really haven't had a chance to look at them. Yeah, 14 by 70 mobile home. Seen those going down the road a lot, especially out in Texas. More of the western states, you see that a lot more. But I finally have moved into the type of trucking that I want. Now that's like from day one, I wanted to do heavy haul. I wanted to do machinery, which here at Valley Transportation is what I do. Yeah, there's the odd load in between, a load of hay, this barge, but mostly it's agricultural equipment and machinery. It's, John Deere, Caterpillar, things of that nature. As long as I don't get another load of freaking styrofoam, that's the one load that I truly, truly hate. But, that's neither here nor there. So, since I'm not at Melton anymore, that shouldn't be a problem. I'll drink there. But other than that, Outdoor Adventures, how you doing, sir? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, everybody who is watching, please feel free to ask any question regarding myself, my YouTube channel, what I've done as a truck driver, my past history as an arborist, a pesticide applicator, a horticulturalist, a landscaper, a barbecue cook, a pizza delivery driver, trainer. Oh yeah, Trucker Rudy. Yeah, I was wondering what happened. I guess I'm not going to rehash what the last bit was, but hey, Josh Shaves, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Ain't seen you in a while. Yeah, so Trucker, we ain't gonna rehash all that. That's everybody had their opinions. Mine was on your side, but I guess that's no longer not a thing anymore. So I'm not going to worry about it. I think like they say, opinions are like everybody has one. Most of them stink. So there you go. Oh, it's UnlimitedVille. So all one word. UnlimitedVille, VILLE.com. They basically have contracts with every major carrier. Now you can go with the lowest one, I think, which is Sprint, Verizon, then AT&T. AT&T is the most expensive one, which is what I do because I've had nothing but really good customer service and reliability. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be places along the road where you just, no matter what you do, you're going to go into a non-service area. I mean, and me and my friend Brent, he's a truck driver as well. He was with Watkins Shepherd until they went defunct. But he was traveling, doing a dedicated route from Dalton, Georgia. It's a little bit, basically in between Atlanta and Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he was taking a dedicated run up to Mansfield, Ohio, every week, twice a week, back and forth. And he would go through the mountains there in Kentucky and Tennessee, right near Rarity Mountain area, Carysville, Tennessee, Jellicoe, those areas like that. And he would just cut out because he was going through that little stretch of mountain. And then, I would be out somewhere in the middle of Wyoming and it would cut out. Or Arizona. Hell, even going on I-40 in Tennessee, west of Nashville, going to Memphis. There's a couple spots along there that are dead zones, for the phone. So even on the major interstates, there are places where you're gonna lose service. And there really isn't much to do about it. You just, okay, well, I lost service. Let me wait a couple moments till it comes back on, and there you go. And then there's places where you wouldn't think you would get a good signal at all, and I've had some really good stuff. Like I said, I use the AT&T version on Unlimitedville, and it's $199 a month, which is a bit high, but considering the amount of data that I use, if I try to do that as a hotspot on the phone, oh man, it would be horrible. It would be horrendous. And I do have an old one of these that was specifically from AT&T, and I would have 10 gigabytes for a month for like $60, and then immediately I would be spending an extra $5-10 for an extra gigabyte, and I did that for a month, and that was crap. Then I found Unlimitedville, and I have been thoroughly pleased with Unlimitedville. I've not had a single day where their service was the problem. It's simply where the antenna is and the location of it. Their service, excellent. I recommend them hardly. And 99% of the time, it stays right up here in the cabinet. Or when I want to go in and like I'm doing laundry or whatnot at the truck stop, I take my, and I do a little work on the computer with the editing next video, sit there, surfing the internet. As long as it gets a signal, no problem. Uh, 95 in Nevada. I've been on that road once or twice. Couldn't really tell you how bad it was. Most of my time in Nevada is going straight up and down 15. Also going from Las Vegas down to like Phoenix, going along that back road. I think was it 50 something? Going down through Cal Navari, which is one of those places that middle of nowhere, the very southern tip of Nevada, and I'm getting a great signal, So, that's one of those places where, it's out in the middle of the desert. It really, you got mountains, you got California that way a little bit, you got Arizona that way a little bit, and you're in Nevada, right at that very little tippy top point. Whenever you can, Josh, whenever you can. I am currently sitting at, let's pull up the doodad. Let's see, currently sitting at how many videos? That's not telling me. Videos. 446. Yeah, 446, I think it's saying here. And, and sitting at, I think I just passed 553 subscribers. Which, that's something that always surprised me. I started doing YouTube primarily as a diary, not really worrying about making, it big on YouTube. I mean, I'm glad I could share, with other people. It's good for someone like me who's a bit of a introvert. It does help me to, I don't want to say I'm shy or that I'm that I'm a wallflower or anything like that, but I have absolutely zero problem not talking to somebody else. I'm not, I don't have that need for other people as much as some other people do. Iowa City, Ohio. On Sunday? You're loading on a Sunday. Are you going to a food warehouse, a refrigerated area? That's the thing, being, flatbed, heavy haul. Weekends are, they don't do any work on weekends. I mean, the last time I got loaded on a Saturday, let's see, it's been a little while. I think I got loaded on Saturday, a month ago, and that was a rare thing because they were backed up, so they needed to move things out a little bit faster. So they had to put some time on to get things done, but otherwise it would have been Friday or Monday, and that's the reason why I'm sitting around this weekend. I got here at 4:30. They were going home, and they're not coming back to work until Monday morning. So, trade shows. Oh, yeah. When I was at Watkins Shepherd, picked up carpet that was going to a trade show in Atlanta. So, yeah, I've done some of the trade show thing. I haven't been to actually deliver it to the convention center or arena, whatever it was going to. It went to a staging area, but I've done a little bit of that. Actually, the last time I did anything with a trade show was 1980, 89 and 90. No, 89. Right before I graduated high school. Was working at ABC Rentals in Baltimore on the over in near Pikesville and Randallstown, Maryland, where pretty much where I'm from. And that was plates and knives and towels, linen, chairs, tables, that kind of stuff. And I remember a couple times being doing that early, around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning type thing as well. Which is another reason why I really do not ever want to do another reefer load again or a food load again. The experience I had doing that, no thanks. It's bad enough when I'm driving a flatbed. And you say you want me there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I get there at 1:30, and then you, the person who set that appointment time, well, we'll get to you when we can. Then why did you set the appointment? 320-mile deadhead. Lightweight. I did a load that went from Waterloo, Iowa to Fort Myers and Immokalee, Florida. It was a permit load. And once I finished that load, I had to deadhead all the way back up to Griffin, Georgia. 600-mile deadhead. I've done a lot of deadhead. I'd say I have 350. I did 250 to get to here from Dallas. I did a 450-mile deadhead from Brighton, Colorado up to Wall, South Dakota, and I believe that video is up. Yeah, that video's up. The short straw haul video. because the load I took from Orlando to Brighton, Colorado, near Denver, that was an easy one. That was pretty decent. But then from there, the only load I had that was going to take me back to Wisconsin, or back to Minnesota, sorry, was going 450 miles north and east up to Wall, South Dakota, basically from Denver. Then, to grab some straw. That thing sucked. I get paid either way, whether I'm loaded or unloaded, because I'm a company driver, but still, 450 miles, 600-mile deadhead this last time, the time before this load. So sometimes I wonder how they make any money doing that. You got to figure that load of straw didn't pay that much. I mean, it was basically the deadheading almost doubled the really pretty close to double the length of travel. So I have a hard time imagining they made any money on that one. I think they made, I don't even know if they that's not too bad of a run. I mean, Gary, Indiana to Newport News. And I was just down in that area a little while ago, a little more than a week ago. Because I was there in Chesapeake, Virginia, just south of Norfolk, right near the North Carolina line. So I wasn't too far away from that. Now, the biggest thing about that load was I was not able to go to Royal Farms. That's the one thing that really pissed me off. If I could have gotten this truck into the Royal Farms parking lot, around the back or on the side or something, I'd have been happy. Because if I don't get my Royal Farms chicken, I ain't happy. All right, so it's been half an hour. Anybody have any kind of question whatsoever? I'm more than happy to answer, because I don't have a whole lot of topics that I really wanted to talk about. The thing that I have been, that I was the most concerned with when I came to coming to a company that does heavy haul, was learning to deal with permits. And having a book like this has helped. It gives some breakdowns for the individual states and their requirements. What is a legal load in the state? When do I need a permit? What you need to have, information you must have for that permit. When you can move. When you need an escort, what the escorts have to have. When you need a police escort, all that jazz. 522 miles when the owner of the truck company quit. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. I mean, I've had to do those rescues as well. Except the one I did was a day cab, and it still had product on the back, not locked, and the guy just up and quit. Said, I'm just parking the truck here. Come and get it. Went from Indianapolis on the northwest side of Indianapolis. Had to go down to Jasper, Illinois. Jasper, Illinois, or Jasper, Indiana. Pick up that truck and trailer, a 53-foot trailer, with furniture still in the back. And I had to take that down to Berea, Kentucky. And there in Berea, Kentucky, I picked up a 2017 Volvo that needed to come back up to Indianapolis. So I bobtailed that truck all the way back up. Well, uh, answer these questions in reverse here. I am liking the job, and uh, a good portion of that is finally doing permitted loads, which is what like I said, what I've been training and aiming myself towards, since day one of deciding to become a truck driver. From my day driving, my year driving a van at Watkins Shepherd, to doing flatbed at Melton, to now being here at Valley Transportation. I'm enjoying. They've been very responsive to my questions, very helpful when I needed some advice. Because I'm just getting into that. I'm just into my third month, starting my third month. I'm learning the processes that they want me to do, and how things work within the company. What the expectations are, how when this is done, what steps lead to this, and this. There are a few things which are a little bit odd and hard to get used to. Going back to being paid every 2 weeks, which I haven't had that for I would say 30 plus years. It's been about, let's see, last time I got paid every 2 weeks, yeah, I was still in Japan. So 31 years, 32 years almost, since the last time I got paid every 2 weeks. That's taking a little bit of getting used to, but I just got to watch the budget a little bit. I got to plan a little bit more, make sure all the things that I know are going to come out in the first week of every month, because that's how I've set things up. That part is a little bit, going from being paid every single week on a Friday to being paid every 2 weeks on a Monday, which is, I don't know of any company that pays on a Monday. This company does, but that's pretty minor, big deal, The pay's going to work out the same anyway, so why? It's just a little odd, The work week is Thursday through the second Wednesday. That's the time period for which you get paid. Now, being as I'm a salaried employee, I don't worry about my miles. I don't worry about how much time I sit around. So, it kind of really is pretty easy to deal with. The pay is good. I mean, work has never been primarily about money for me, because of the way I try to be as frugal as I can with what I do, and I have several goals that I'm saving for. I spend very little money to begin with, so I make a little bit less initially on a week-to-week basis than I would if I was driving, like say when I was at Melton. But the safety and performance bonus that I'm earning with the company to be paid out at the end of 1 year compensates for that. So, yes, I do want as many miles as I can, because that's how it's based. But for the overall, it's not too bad. I'm getting about 1,000 a week. I won't say if it's high or low, just about that. So it's not too bad. I have a lot. The thing is, I have a lot more time off at this company than I have had at Melton or Watkins Shepherd. So it kind of evens out. I have a little more free time. So when you calculate it out on a per hour basis, I'm getting actually a little bit more than I was when I was at Melton. Adjusting for cents per mile versus salary, the amount of time that I was on, that I was working versus the amount of time I'm off. So it all, in the end, I'm making more. I'm going to be pushing about roughly $75K for the year. Starting August to August, 2019 to 2020. So I'll be doing about $75K for the year. The biggest thing is, I'm finally driving a truck that's not the same cookie cutter aero trucks everybody else. Drove the Volvo, 760. I drove the T680 there at Melton. And for an aero truck, I prefer the T680 over the Volvo. I have never driven a Freightliner besides the day cab, like I said, that I did a rescue on. And some really old, crappy, 1990s beat up, run ragged, put through the ringer trucks when I was at my CDL school. A International Eagle Pro Star, a couple of Freightliners there, but it's students. So and some people who have never drove a stick before now being taught how to drive a stick while learning how to drive a truck. But so I know I got this 389 Peterbilt, dark green, 18 speed, tops out at 70 miles an hour, which is nice having that little bit extra. Being able to pass a lot more of the big mega company trucks, governed at 65. That's nice. Being able to get around people is a little bit nicer. You got about 500 horsepower, about 18-15 on the torque. These cabinets back here, they're not the best for long-term OTR, like I am. But, I'm slowly organizing and getting things where I need them, when I still have, I still have containers on the floor here in front of me that, I got to pull out of the way to open the cabinet doors, put them away. But I'm working on that. So getting things where I want and how I want, and probably the biggest thing that I will be doing is underneath the bed here, underneath the mattress, I'm going to build a platform. Hey, Truck and Review, how you doing? I hope you and Princess are enjoying those motorcycles, even though you're taking a spill once in a while. Like I said, I'm taking my spills on bicycles. I know how that feels. Like I said, underneath the mattress, I'm going to build a platform that, everybody knows how the truck mattresses sit down in a little tub almost. It's got a lip around that yay high all the way around it. Well, I'm going to be building basically like a 9 or 10 inch high platform, and I'll put some drawers in the very front so that I can gain some more storage. And then underneath the bed, you got that little space, underneath the platform there. I'm going to build a little wall with a flip out door. And I'm going to use that primarily as my laundry basket. Right now, I just have a plastic tub in there that's a little bit finicky, hard trying to get out sometimes. And, but that's the kind of thing that I did in the T680 as well. Up on the double bunk T680 mid-roof, I built that platform. If you look at episode, I think it's 76, Top Shelf Shelving, you'll see what I've done there in the T680. It was just a way for me to get more storage and, not have it sitting on that mattress, but sitting on a hard plywood base, which is basically what I'm going to do in this truck. Raise the mattress up, put a lip around it so it doesn't go sliding off, which really won't do it because the cabinet here and the one there on the other side as well, you got to keep it pretty stable. But it's going to be the back and forth that I have to worry about. And then, once I got those drawers built underneath the mattress, I'm going to put one, a plywood thing all the way up here as well, and put in some shelving, maybe about 3.5, 4 inches wide. That way I get some storage back here to compensate for these crappy Peterbilt, pieces of garbage. This is not designed for OTR. This is designed for being in the truck for a week, maybe 2, and you got more than enough storage. But when you're OTR, ain't happening. I got right behind the computer here, I got my printer. Above that is the microwave. And they take up a lot of space. And that's a lot of space that I lose to have those two things there. So I got to try to combine and reduce and cram things in to every little nook and cranny. And that's where I am thoroughly jealous of Trucking Review Channel there, because they got the Mondo sleeper that I could, if I had a sleeper half that size, I would be thoroughly happy. Because all I need is a 90-inch sleeper. That'd be more than enough space. Because what I would do is have it custom built, but the bed would run from straight in line with the truck, not across the width of the truck as they are now. The bed would go this way, and underneath the bed would be split half and half. Drawers coming in to the middle, and then the entire length of the outside underneath the bed would be one door that opened up like this for all my tools, all my equipment. So that, I wouldn't have the heater unit, the AP unit, or anything else interfering. That'd be totally clear, free and clear of everything. And have a little bit of shelving in it as well, so I can put all my stuff in there. TJ, welcome in. So that would be my ideal. Like I said, on the driver's side, the bed would be, underneath would be cabinets on the inside, above it would be full width, full depth cabinets all the way across to the back wall. Then on the passenger side would have a little bit of counter space for a kitchen where I could stand up and cook. That's one of the biggest things that I wish I had. A place to actually stand up and cook. Because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable sitting down and cooking for someone who loves to cook. I mean, here's just a little bit of the stuff that I got, soy sauce, flour, salt, pepper, crackers, fish, a little bit of, a stick blender, utensils, storage stuff, Ziploc bags, wooden skewers, little things like that. Just, I got more stuff than I could ever that I probably should have in the truck, but I'd rather have it in the truck and be able to cook instead of going to places like this all the time. I don't know if the camera can see it there. I like Arby's once in a while, but I can do whatever they do better. Not because I'm the most fantastic cook in the world, far from it. But I know I have enough skill and knowledge, and I've learned enough cooking technique that I can make virtually anything that Southern or Country Pride, Iron Skillet, Huddle House, Waffle House, Denny's, any of these places, I can make something that I'm going to enjoy much more for a third or a quarter of the price, and be more satisfied with it. I can, okay, what my favorite thing in the world, as far as a vegetable is concerned, is lima beans. I love lima beans, and I can eat them every day. I've had them 3 times this past week. But try to get lima beans at one of these restaurants. Everybody does the same thing. Broccoli. Or a house salad. Once in a great while, you'll get green beans that have been cooked to death. I don't want that. I want the vegetables I like. When I want to stir fry, you can't always get a Chinese place near where you are, and then you don't know what the quality is. You're always taking a chance. Sometimes it's okay. Other times it's absolute crap, and you wonder why you wasted your money on it. But if I can do the stir fry in the truck, I can make precisely what I want, not somebody else's interpretation of the meal. If I want bok choy, celery, carrots, onion, green onion, water chestnut, beef, red pepper flakes, I can have it precisely the way I want it every single time. Yes, it requires me to do some dishes, but so what? I take them in, I wipe them out with a Lysol wipe to get them 90% clean. The next day when I go in and take a shower, take them in with me. A simple little bag, little tote, take them in with me. Wash them, put them in a collapsible dish rack. Take my shower, bundle everything up, come back to the truck, and there you go. Well, I'll tell you why you don't like lima beans, Joss. You've never had them made right. It's like grits. It's like chitlins. It's like anything. When you don't have it made right, and somebody gives it to you, and you don't like the way it tastes right then and there, that will stay with you for the rest of your life. You take lima beans, you boil them up till they're really nice and soft. The skin is almost falling off of them. Then you saute them in a ton of black pepper with some good top quality butter. And you get that butter and that pepper just soak into the lima bean. You'll love them. You'll love them. I did that, like I said, 3 times this past week. Got some chicken thighs, put them on my panini grill, my George Foreman grill. Salt, pepper, ground them up, put them into Ziploc bags. Little vacuum bags here. Let's see, do I have the, yeah. So little vacuum bags. I have a little vacuum hand pump. You just place it right on that, you put stuff in, place it right on that dot, suck the air out. Keeps just fine in the refrigerator. So all week, take a bag of chicken out, let it warm up to room temperature. Cook my lima beans. Put the chicken in the pan. Warm it up a little bit. Make a nice little sauce with it. Make a baked potato in the microwave. Just nuke it. Slather it with butter. If I wanted, I put a little bit of bacon on the baked potato and have a good home cooked, quote unquote, home cooked meal, in the truck. And it's precisely the way I want it, and it costs me half of what I could possibly get, inside, and I'm more satisfied with it. So, that's the issue. Having an APU is definitely a big help with that. When I was at Melton, I had a truck that did not have an APU, but the truck would run all night. The engine would idle all night without a problem. Now, it would, of course, cause problems with the regen, that you would have to eventually do a regen. If you ran it constantly for an entire week like that, which I've had to do. That polar vortex thing. Last January, February, whatever it was. Up in Chicago. Minus 30 degrees. All night long, waiting for them to give me a load when they said it would be ready at 6 p.m. When you're not moving and the truck's just idling, it doesn't blow a lot of hot air. That's why I'm glad I have the APU with this company. I don't have to idle the truck. The engine gets enough of workout every day. Yeah, if I could get a nice truck, kind of like what Trucking Review has, nowhere near as big. I don't need that length of sleeper, but a good 389, like I said, with a 90-inch sleeper, custom made the way I want it, or a W900L the way I want it. Yeah, if I had the ability to do that, I would. Everything that I've ever seen about Southern Pride makes me think that I could be happy at a company like that. And then I would have plenty of time to goof off racing around on my motorbike. But like I said, if I had a truck like that where I could actually have the space to do everything I want, I'd be happy. This is more likely going to be my last job / career. 48 years old now. Been an arborist, landscaper, pesticide applicator, horticulturalist for 30 years. Worked at Home Depot, worked at Pizza Hut, Scott's Lawn Care, True Green, tree companies, barbecue places, retail, customer service. I've done enough things to know, a little bit about the things, about dealing with business. But the only other thing I could possibly see myself doing is running a bed and breakfast. That's about the only other thing I could honestly see myself doing for the rest of my life. Now, if I bought a lottery ticket and won a couple $1 million, not a lot, just $5-6 million, I could actually retire from doing anything, go buy me a really nice sailboat, and sail the world for the rest of my life. I could do that. But, as far as having to work, this is what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. Unless I said, I had the opportunity to run my own business. Yeah, it'd be either trucking or it would be running a bed and breakfast. Maybe with an RV, park adjunct to that. With a marina maybe. With a horse ranch for riding and, that kind of stuff, But mainly a tourist kind of thing where I would be, managing, a little small staff, a nice little kitchen for a restaurant, having people come in, stay for a little while, have them enjoy the hospitality of my restaurant and my hotel, bed and breakfast. and, you know, have a simple, quiet life. I've never really had a desire to, really be loud and, I don't want to say obnoxious, but, you know, a partier. I've never been that way. You know, doing, sitting by, being old. I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. Sitting around a fireplace, reading a good book, going out in the day, tending to the garden, a couple sheep, maybe some cows, pigs. Growing, canning, pickling, cooking, working in a wood shop, doing some carpentry, building furniture. That's about the only other thing besides trucking that I could see myself doing now. And as a kid, just about getting ready to get out of high school, you have all those things in your head. I mean, I actually thought, I grew up around the military. I was a Navy brat my entire, youth. I actually thought about going into the military, becoming a helicopter pilot, and I'd have been set for the rest of my life if I did that. But life being what it is, it steers you in ways you never thought you would be. I never had an inkling of ever driving a truck when I was 17, 16. I also never thought I'd be, climbing trees and cutting them down for almost 30 years. I never thought I'd be spraying pesticides on people's lawns and their trees and their shrubs. Never thought I'd be doing that. I never thought I'd be working at Pizza Hut as a cook, as a shift manager, as a driver trainer. But you never know where life's going to take you. But yet, this is where I was dumped out at, and I'm fairly happy with where I'm at. I'm rebuilding everything that I've ever lost. I'm enjoying the job as well. That's probably the biggest thing. A job's a job. If I got to dig a ditch to survive, I'll do so. If I have to, stand there and listen to some whiny, snivelly little punk tell me that his French fries are cold, he wants a new batch of them. That's fine. I'll do what I have to. But I'm glad I don't have to. I'm very satisfied with being in a place that I want to be, doing what I want to do. Now, as with anything else in life, there's rules you got to obey. There's restrictions and guidelines and procedures and policies and blah, 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 crap on top of crap that you got to do, even with things that you like to do. But other than that, trucking has been one of those things where when I was at absolute zero and clawing my way back up, it was a good way to have a place to live. I have my own apartment here. I got a bed, I got electricity. 90% of the time I have a shower right in there, free of charge. I always have a water. I have the internet, communications with anybody in the world at any point in time. Got my yoga mat, got my guitar, got my PlayStation, got my camera gear. I got my kitchen. I mean, truck driving is not a bad career, especially when you're still, single like I am, and you have virtually no other bills. I don't have a car. I don't have an apartment. I don't have a mountain of debt. I don't have some place I need to get back to do maintenance on and keep maintained. So, I work as much as I can. I spend as little as I can. I save as much as I can. I set my goals. I work them. And, I'm in a very good place for me. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I never thought I'd be here, Joe. But, this works for me. Trucking works very well with my personality, with my ability to self-supervise, with my ability to do a very boring job for the most part. Driving is not exciting. This is not the FIA World Rally Championships. Now, some of these idiots out here driving through the parking lot think so. Driving like a bat out of hell through a parking lot and driving like morons on the highway and all of those small roads. But, when you're going down the highway hour after hour, mile after mile, and it's the same highway many a time, it's not an exciting job, Driving a dry van, I was bored out of my skull until I got to that next point of delivery, especially when I was doing the local delivery thing, out of Indianapolis, out of Berea, Kentucky, out of Kearney, New Jersey, doing some of that local delivery stuff, boring. Then when I got to my stop to make my delivery, always seeing somebody new, always a little bit more of a challenge getting back into the dock. Hey, Ralph, welcome in, welcome. That's when it got exciting swinging doors. The one reefer load I did from Fort Collins up to Missoula, it was interesting to learn a little bit about how to run a reefer. I don't want to ever repeat that one time because I hated it, but at least I got to experience it. The food service load I took from, where was I? I think it was Ohio, I think it was Columbus, down to Indian Trail, North Carolina. I think it was a Harris Teeter load of food. It sucked. Dealing with a lumper, having to wait to get approval to write a com data check so some schmuck can pull stuff out of a truck. $200 to empty a truck? I mean, come on. I didn't enjoy it. I took a couple of Kroger loads as well from that general area. I forget where I went with the Kroger loads. I think I went to the south side of Atlanta with those, and that sucked as well. Oh, we got to do this, you got to do that. They act like they were guarding freaking Fort Knox. You're guarding nachos and ice cream bars. And they act like they're doing the most important jobs in freaking guard shacks. I brought 4,000 cases of Doritos one time. Let me inspect your truck and trailer. Anybody in there with you? Come on, So, I'm glad I had the experience of that. So I have a little bit of understanding of what you guys go through who do that. But no thanks. Like I said, heavy haul is where I wanted to go from day one. And now I'm at a company that's letting me do that. And like I said, picking up that scraper out of Orlando, taking that out to Denver, that was an experience. I mean, it was scary as hell putting that on the deck of this truck, for the first time. Never having driven one of those machines before, but that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. Picking up trailers in the middle of, in Crowell, Texas, that are welded together, being an oversized load as well. Never did it before. Now I have to worry about flags and banners and weight, my height, my width, whether I have a beacon on or not, whether I need an escort or not. Making sure that I'm on the correct road every step of the way. Make sure I stop before sunrise or before sunset and get up, half an hour before sunrise. Or, I can't drive on these holidays, or I can't drive through this area between these hours. That's what I wanted to do, so now I'm doing it, which is always, I won't say it's a dream come true. It was a goal that I set, and now I'm finally achieving it. And I'm learning more and more every day. Getting this book here, helps me to understand a little bit more. Getting out my binder for my annual permits and printing out the permits when they come through, and sitting there and reading through them to get an understanding of what I must do to get this load from point A to point B. High value load of Christmas cookies. What are you, delivering them to Santa himself? I mean, dang. I guess in some states, because it is something that people take into their bodies, I guess some states would have those kind of regulations to deal with. What doesn't surprise me, I said I took beer out of Fort Collins, and I've taken food from Ohio down to, Georgia and North Carolina. I didn't have all that to deal with any of those, but a lot of the rules that we have to deal with as truckers, it makes you wonder, who's the idiot sitting at that desk who's never even been within 10 feet of a truck, much less in one and driven one for a living, why they dream up these rules and regulations. Oh, it sounds good at the time. Like whenever we go into a place, no Jake brakes, no engine, braking. Why? Do you tell people in a regular car they can't downshift and use their transmission to slow them down? No. The only place, I think this was up in Vermont, and I believe it's on the vlog. I went up from New York up to Bristol, Vermont to pick up a load of lumber. Went through this little town, and it was raining at the time, so they had a nice big gushing river going right through town. But they actually had a sign, please reduce engine brake noise. Not that prohibited crap, like they often say. They say, please reduce engine noise. I can respect that a lot more. I say, okay, I'm running empty here. I don't need my Jake brakes on. I don't need my engine retarder on. I'll turn that off for you. Thank you for asking politely. You know, and that's all I want most of the time. Just be polite about it. You know. Well, it's like here at this company. 5 days on the road. My 5th day on the road. I brought a load out of from Dubuque and Davenport, Iowa. Brought a load of 3 pieces of equipment down to Texas, McKinney, Irving, and Pflugerville, Texas. From there, I deadheaded down to Laredo, picked up a bunch of scissor lifts, and I was taking those out to Georgia and South Carolina. My 5th day on the road, I got stopped in Beeville, Texas. Got a class 2 inspection, level 2 inspection. But the guy who was doing the inspection, the DOT officer, was a nice guy. He wasn't being a jerk. He was being a nice guy about it. I had to take a look at this. And, let me look at your chain. Well, what grade are your chains? Oh, the grade 70. Okay, you're good. Okay, what's your weight of your things here? So I break. Well, that's this. These are all blah blah blah. He goes, okay. So what amount of holding force do you need? I said, I need half of that. He says, excellent, good job. He said, your chaining is ugly. Yeah, it looks ugly, but it's legal. So you're good to go. And he was decent about it, But then you get some people on the road, supposedly professionals, and they're complete jerks about it, You get it in the truck stop, cashier who's being a putz. Other truck drivers who are acting like complete morons. Our own dispatching managers who act that way. DOT, police, the other people out there. So when I see a sign like that in a small town saying, please reduce engine brake noise, I'm more likely to give it to them, Which is all I ever wanted. That's a little bit of courtesy. I don't need you to respect me. Respect is something entirely different than anything else. Respect is one level below love. I can respect somebody else, but not love them. But if I love them, respect comes with that. At least in my definition. If I like you, doesn't mean I respect you. I can respect you without liking you. That's, and, it takes, and that's one of those things, you got to respect me. Don't disrespect me. Well, you ain't done anything to earn my respect, and I'm pretty damn sure I haven't done anything to earn yours. But you treat me the way I want to treat you, with civility, courtesy, just a bit of basic common decency and kindness, the world would be a whole lot better place for everybody, I think. Well, tonight basically today was a day of organization and cleaning, as it often is on a weekend when I have downtime. Joe, no. Every load that I've had thus far has been 10'6" or less, so I've had no problem fueling. This barge that I'm supposed to be picking up on Monday is supposed to be 12 foot wide, so there probably will be an issue with some locations where I would fuel. But if I can, if I have to, I'll fuel, back out, and then skirt around. I'll make sure that I park on the very outside where I just have to back up a couple feet, then move around, maybe pull around the scale, or something like that. But most places that I've seen, most loads that I've seen that are wide loads, I've not seen a whole lot of them having any real issue with getting themselves fueled. I mean, even with the big windmill blades, usually, what I've seen, the escort guy stays in the back. They'll back out, and go the other way. They'll block the road so nobody else can get in if needs be. But the load I'm picking up, like I said, it's supposed to be 12 foot wide, 10 foot high, 42 foot long. So really, it's only supposed to be like maybe 30,000 pounds. It's a barge. It's a little simple. The top of the Mississippi, up in Minnesota is where it's being put into the water. So I would expect that, it's not going to be too much of an issue. So I got to go through Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, then Minnesota. A little over 1,000 miles. So, in the morning, go right in front of me right here, top up the tanks, go get loaded, get my permits. I'm going over to Minden, Louisiana, because there's a Love's right there in Minden where I've stopped before. I've stopped at that Love's before a couple times. Get myself scaled, review all my permits. Once I get them emailed to me, then I print them out. Then once I do that, they'll tell me what roads I can take, and for the most part, I should not have to worry about fuel until I make my delivery. Oh, Rail had that policy. If you're over 10, 11 foot wide, you have to drop your trailer. Well, like I said, that's every company's got their thing, And if I need to, I will. The only time that I've actually been unhooked from my trailer that I have now since day one was a couple of days ago. There, south of Little Rock, where the boom from this John Deere excavator actually broke through the decking on the trailer. Actually put a hole in my trailer, and I had to stop. I had to go buy some 4x4s, put that blocking under there, put the boom back down. Of course, that changed my height, so I had to wait for new permits for Arkansas and for Texas. But but that's the only time I've ever bobtailed with this truck. They're in Fordyce, Alabama, Fordyce, Arkansas, south of Little Rock. Let's see, Fordyce is where Paul Bear Bryant, I believe was the football coach, was born, which is basically almost due west from Hope, Arkansas, where President Clinton was born. And some guy's out throwing a football to himself, running around in the parking lot. Oh well. Yeah, Squirrel. But other than that, just a normal kind of day to day. Took everything out of the boxes, the side, compartments on the left and right side. Swept it all out, vacuumed it out, vacuumed the floor inside the cab, straightened out the paperwork and the bed, and changed the sheets and all that jazz. Took everything out of the cabinets, threw away all the little bits of detritus and pieces of paper and little bits of plastic and whatnot. Put everything back in, threw away things that were just broken or damaged or not of any use except as trash. Organized the headache rack. We have a 3-door headache rack here. The first door on the driver's side is where I have all my chain. I got a 3-foot crowbar in my 3-foot load bar, my winch bar in there. All my chain is in that side. The passenger side door has all my binders. We have all ratchet binders. They're all in that one cabinet. I need to put a bar in the middle so I can hang them in 2 layers. Because right now I got some hanging, the other ones are sitting on the floor, of the headache rack. Then the center one, up top, I have my J-hooks, shackles, strap, the rubber strap protectors that the strap goes through them, edge protectors, plastic ones, and then on the middle rack, I have straps, 4-inch and 2-inch straps. On the bottom, I have my ratchets down there. And what else do I have in there? Pretty much nothing else in there. On the step, on the outside, I have a cabinet, a little drawer, a little swing up, cabinet there. Got all my bungees in there. I got my tire thumper in there, and I got my short automotive winch bar in there. Like a 2-foot bar, which is what I use 90% of the time. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm wanting to get to. 14 foot 2 inches is the tallest I've been so far. 10 foot 6 inches wide is the heaviest, or the widest. And 84,000 pounds is my heaviest so far, which all occurred on my last load, that 210 GLC John Deere excavator. Now, like I said, this barge I'm picking up is 12 foot wide, which will actually be the widest thing I've ever taken. So it's going to be another experience to learn, how it sits on the trailer, how I'm going to secure it down. 30,000 pounds. I mean, that's nothing. I'm basically hauling a big bathtub. 10 foot high, 12 wide, 42 foot long. It's a big dang bathtub. So the only thing that limits my movement is its width, 12 foot wide. If I go into my little book here, let's see here. And let's look at Louisiana to start. Maryland, Louisiana. Okay. Times of movement, sunrise to sunset, unless prohibited under restriction. Loads over 12 foot wide may not travel in the interstate system through Shreveport, Monroe, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 3:30 to 5:30, Monday to Friday. Well, I'm not going through any of those places, so that's kind of... private escort, when loads are over 12 foot and up to 16 foot. One front escort if on a 2-lane. One rear escort if on multi-lane. No height limit for an escort. So, Wyoming is a special case. Wyoming is one of those, is a weird state for that, because when you're coming in with a permanent load, you have to call ahead before you enter the state. Let me look up Wyoming here real quick. Rhode Island, Tennessee, Washington, Wyoming. Yeah, special information needed for a permit. Company must call for clearance when 150 miles from Wyoming state line. So almost 3 hours ahead of schedule is a minimum amount of time you need to call before you even get into the state. It's, and anybody who's traveled from Wyoming up to Montana, that one that's right. It was a Deal or Deacon or Deans or something like that, something with a D. I've been pulling there every single time I've been up and down that road. And let's see your permit. What are you hauling? Grain, steel, whatever it was. Are you under permit? No, sir. I'm on a legal load. Okay, good to see you. It's more of a waste of time than anything else. But Wyoming's one of those states that let's see, what is this? Casper, Wyoming, Evanston, Cheyenne, Gillette, Sheridan, Kimmerer, Lemaine, Lusk. Yeah, and they give you the phone numbers here for all the points of entry, so that you make sure you call. Wyoming is one of those states that it has very particular thing. I don't even know if I got a. See, here's our company. All the annual permits we got. We got California, Wisconsin. Let's see. We have several. Let's kind of see if they have something here for Wyoming. But that's Texas. Here we go. I don't know why that's in the wrong spot. That should be in Texas. But here's the information I have currently from, gives me all the points of entry, the ports of entry, all of them here. Ashland, and here's all the ones for Oregon and all the ones for Utah. So, some of the states, they do things like that, but as long as you're following the rules, it really doesn't. I don't see why anybody has a problem with it. Oh yeah, I got stopped in. Where was I at? Oh, I was there in. Where the hell was I? Oh, South Dakota. I picked up a load of straw at a wall, and before I entered into the next state, they were doing. I passed a way station, which was closed, but a mile down the road, they had a truck checkpoint. And they were checking the load, and the guy threw his height stick, just like the one I have. And he says, you're 13'1". I go, well, actually I was 13'2", but I guess I've settled since wall. So there you go. They're not going to fault you for the load getting shorter, or narrower, or lighter. Well, they might fault you for getting lighter if stuff's falling off your truck. What are you carrying? Steel? Well, it says here you weigh 45,000 pounds. Yeah, a couple pieces fell off back up on a couple of bumps. That they mind. But, for the most part, I've had 6. Well, yeah, 6. Gotta remember how to count. That's 5. That makes 6. 6 times I've been stopped for inspections. Level 3s and level 2s. I say 6, but the last one really didn't count because the day before there in Beeville, Texas, I got stopped my 5th day on the road, and they did a level 2 on me in Beeville, Texas. The very next day in Mississippi, I got pulled into the first weigh station. They called me around to do a level 2 inspection on me, and I handed the guy my receipt, the inspection report from Texas. He says, "Yeah, just go ahead," you know. So that one doesn't really. They don't really. They're not really a problem for me. You know, weigh stations, the cops sitting on the side of the road shooting radar. You know, I don't worry about any of those things because they're just fine. Yeah. Which, like I said, I haven't been through Wyoming yet with a load. You know, that's a permanent load yet. So when it happens, it'll happen. So ain't too worried about it. But having this book, having all the other annual permits here that I've been able to read, you know, since I've been at this company, has, you know, definitely enlightened me on, you know, on how much harder, quote unquote harder, heavy haul is than almost any other type of trucking. I think, you know, doing hazmat. Yeah, I still need to go get my hazmat endorsement. I need to get. I want to get tanker. I want to get hazmat. I want to get double, triple, just so I have it. You know, that I say I've got it. I'm never going to use them. Have no need to use them. You know, I got my TWIC card, so I can go to the ports and places like that. I need to get my passport back so I can go into Canada. But other than that, you know, I'm pretty much where I need and want to be. So, but like I said, you know, even, you know, at Melton, I had a height stick. I've never had one permit load in Melton. Whether the load was sheet steel, whether it was styrofoam, truck rail, you know, parts going to Peterbilt or Freightliner, didn't matter what load I had. You know, rolled roofing out of Macon, Georgia. You know, I always put a height stick on it. I always measured my load. I always made sure I knew how much it weighed. You know, so, you know, whenever I got pulled into a scale house or port of entry, like there in Wyoming, at the very top of Wyoming, I never had an issue with, you know, hey, let me see this, let me see that. Okay, here you go. Okay, you're good. There you go. Goodbye. Yeah, it takes, you know, 5-10 minutes of my day, but I never worried about, you know, I got to drive all freaking 11 hours of my day that I can drive. That made no sense to me ever. But that's trucking, and those are the things we have to deal with. No, I'll never need double, triple. I probably will never ever need hazmat with where I'm at. I will never need. I'll probably, if I'm gonna need a load, you know, an endorsement, it more likely be tanker in case I pick up, you know, something that's liquid. It may be a self-contained, you know, containers, but some places are considering that tanker load. But, you know, yeah, like I said, it's only a matter of just, you know, self-pride, you know, that I have those on my license as an endorsement. You know, just to say that I did it and I got it. Heaven forbid that something happened at this company that, that it had to go out of business. And I needed to get a job really, really quick. Having that on my license just makes it easier to go somewhere else. And that's probably just basically just vanity. Is the only reason I would ever really want to get that stuff. Oh, about an hour and 40 minutes here so far. Lots of typical rambling, lots of just shooting the breeze and running my mouth. It is 8:41 in the evening. So I'm going to call it done right about here. I will be back on tomorrow, approximately the same time, 6 to 6:30. We'll see how many other people decide to join me. Hopefully a little bit different, more people come in. And they don't go off to get something to eat while I'm, shooting the breeze here. But thank you all for joining. Like I said, next time I'm on, feel free to ask any question. Bring up any topic. I'm more than happy to discuss it all. My opinions, my views, my background. So I just hope you all have a good, blessed night. God bless you all. Be safe out there, and and hopefully you have success in every endeavor that you put your hand to. God bless and good night.